Welcome back, Conor. What did you think about the banana bread? Oh, you're muted.
Of course, can't get through a live stream without a mute problem. No, I wanted some of the banana bread, obviously. How did you try it?
It was delicious, and I was thinking perfect timing for a cooking class on the live stream because 3 o'clock is always the time during the workday that I want a snack. And this one was a pretty healthy snack, I would say, compared to the other things that I've been snacking on today.
It's
So
true.
it
Yeah.
was
No,
just what I needed. And I think Melanie made it a lot of fun while we were learning a little bit about trauma and restorative justice.
you know what? It's easy to learn when you've got a full belly.
Totally. I thought we should give a little update on how education is doing since they just did their segment. Last I heard, they had about $3,600 and 82 gifts. So they upped their goal. They were originally at 60, but they blew way past that before Giving Day even started. And so they upped their goal to 100. So need a few more donors to help them reach that. But we'll see them again later on this afternoon.
Let's go School of Ed. I want to see my fellow education alumni really getting after it. So let's go, teachers. Come on. And it looks like we're cranking right along toward that 1,000 donation goal too.
Yeah, we have like 140 donations left, is I think last time I checked.
That's nothing. We can do that.
Yeah. Let's do it in the next 30 minutes while we're talking to Kari and Julie from our amazing Legacy Scholars program. Kari Lindsey, the Interim Director of Student Diversity and Inclusion Center, and Julian Mendez, the Associate Professor of Psychology and Academic Coordinator of the Legacy program, will be joining us now to talk about what they're raising money for today.
Yay!
Hey, Kari and Julian, how are you guys today?
Pretty well. We just saw the update on the legacy donations, so we're doing really well. we're feeling really good.
Awesome. That's what we love to hear. It's been a successful One Westminster Day so far, but I bet some folks don't know about your program. So why don't you kind of give us a little introduction of yourselves and of your program for those of in our audience who don't know about you yet?
Yeah, sure.
I think you should start.
I never know who should go first. So I'm Julian Mendez. As Hannah said, I'm an associate professor of psychology here at the college. I began working with the Legacy program, the creator of the Legacy program, Bentley, about 5 years ago now. We started the program with about 7 students, and we are up to between 72 and 75. I always get kind of lost on the numbers because we have a couple students in and out. But yeah, so I think one of the reasons I started with this program is because I myself was a first-generation college student, which means I was the first in my family to attend college. I attended a predominantly white institution, which is always difficult, being a minority. So I know what a lot of these students go through. So when Dan Cairo sort of approached me with starting a program like this here at Westminster, I was really excited to do so. Also, my research in educational psychology sort of centers around this topic on first-generation students and academic barriers they might experience, as well as what sort of motivates them to persist in college. So yeah, I'm really excited to talk about legacy.
Yeah, and I'm Kari. I use pronouns she, her, hers, and I've been with the Legacy program for almost 3 years now. Like Julian said, we started out with, I think, 8 students, and we actually have on our Instagram, if you want to go look at, we have a picture of those original students with some faculty and staff. If you go to Westminster Diversity, that's our Instagram, you can see a picture of that. And now we've grown to 75 students in the program, and fun fact, our first class of students, that original, they just graduated last year. So they didn't get quite the graduation that we were hoping for them to have because of COVID, but it was pretty incredible to see them get a degree from Westminster College, and we're getting ready for our second graduating Legacy class. Yeah, my favorite part of my job definitely is getting to know the students. Julian and I work very closely with these students. We get them actually before their college experience even starts. We do a summer bridge program, a week-long summer bridge program with them before school starts. We go out to southern Utah and we go raft with them. And yes, Julian and I go every year. We sleep on tents. We that should tell you our dedication to this program. That every year we take a group of 35 undergraduate students out. And then we're with them for all 4 years, or 2 years if they're a transfer student, and then they go into the STEPS program. Yeah, I'm happy to talk any more about all of that. I wanted to give like an overview.
That's a great start. Yeah. And what a cool milestone, I think, to be, fundraising for this program after you've graduated your first class. And I'm sure there's lots of opportunities for growth now and a great time for you to do new, exciting things. Yeah, I think you kind of answered our first question a little bit, but maybe you'd like to dive in more, Julie. And I was kind of wondering if you could explain, you touched on how your background in psychology, you learned a lot about the experience of first generation students. Maybe for our audience who isn't as familiar with that, you could talk about like how your program helps first generation students succeed here at Westminster.
So you're going to hear us say first generation college student a lot. I think there's different definitions of that according to who you ask, but what we mean by a first generation student is where your parents have not received a Bachelor of Arts degree or a Bachelor of Science degree they haven't received that degree in the United States, right? We have students who maybe their parents have, gotten some sort of degree outside the country, but what we find is that even with those students, their experiences are very similar to those students here in the United States whose parents have not received a degree, a formal bachelor's degree, right? And so what our program does, I'll kind of start from the beginning here. Kari touched on it a little bit. Our program is really designed to assist students who are the first in their family to go to college. Again, their parents have not received a bachelor's degree, and they're also historically underrepresented in some way, whether that be by race, gender, sexuality, income, disability status, etc. Our program is really designed to help students optimize their experience at Westminster College. We're here to make sure that, first of all, that they access college, right? There's a lot of, for students who are the first in their family to go to college, oftentimes, not always, but in many cases, they're often low income. In many cases, they go to under-resourced high schools or middle schools. With that, they may feel underprepared in some way, and that can be a lot starting college, right? For many under-resourced schools, they don't have a lot of AP classes, right? Advanced placement classes. So with that being said, our students may not have had the same preparation as other students who are from more privileged backgrounds, right? So our program is designed to do is really sort of fill in that gap to help students sort of be on an equal playing field to other students, right? Other students who are again from more privileged backgrounds. Now, with that being said, we don't want to make it sound as if our students are not as talented as other students here at Westminster. In fact, they're in many ways more talented, and in many ways they've exhibited more resilience than other students. And with that, they're often ready to navigate college. So our program isn't designed to sort of hold their hand and be like, oh, we're going to help you 3 or 4 years. No, actually, what we do right from the beginning is we help students sort of tap in and zero in on what their strengths are, what their talents are, what their assets are. By helping students realize where their strengths are, we are hoping to help students navigate the higher education landscape a little bit more easily, right? So the way we do that, as Kari mentioned, the first thing we do is we put them through a 7-day summer intensive. It's a summer bridge program that is designed to help them think through, what are their resources on campus? What are their strengths already? How do they navigate the college landscape? While also creating a very strong community among these students. Oftentimes these students come to college and they don't see themselves in other people, whether that be by income, by race, by gender, by sexuality. what we're doing is we're creating a very strong community that the students can use as they navigate academic challenges. So right off the bat, it's learning how to navigate college, creating a strong community, while also thinking about who am I? What are my social identities, and helping students build these salient social identities so that when they navigate college, they know who they are and they know who they are through the institution. Throughout their 4 years, we're going to stick with them. We're going to stick with them, and they're going to participate in all kinds of social and cultural events to keep the community strong. While at the same time, they're going to take a fall seminar every year of their college career, one focusing on college success, another seminar focusing on community-based learning, the third seminar focusing on how do I get fellowships, how do I get internships, how do I engage with research, so that they're really seeking developmental opportunities. And then finally, in the fourth year of college, we are going to help them transition into graduate school or the workplace. So that's what sort of makes our program very unique, is that we are with them all 4 years of college. Sometimes they love us, sometimes they hate us, because it's pretty intense. It's an intense program, but it's also a very rewarding program. So
I've seen firsthand how you are I was fortunate to be a part of some of your, stuff with Legacy Scholars when I was working in alumni relations. As part of that, 7-day kind of bridge course, you would bring them to the alumni house, and we'd, and they'd have dinner, and we'd talk about what alumni are. And I just remember being so completely overwhelmed by what just amazing people, were in the program. And just, I really think it's such a valuable program. And you can just see the value when, in those small interactions that I was able to have. And I really, think it's such a great program. But I'm curious, because this is One Westminster Day, we are fundraising, we have a lot of, great projects, but I'm just curious, what are we fundraising for today, you guys? Because, obviously, there's a lot of aspects to the Legacy Scholars Program. So what are, what is the money that's being raised today going to go towards?
Yeah, I can take this one, because I realize that we haven't talked about the program benefits yet, or all of the program benefits. One of the biggest ones is that we are a scholarship program for 4 years, 8 semesters. Our students receive book stipends for the fall semester and the spring semester, scholarships for books. That's a hidden cost that a lot of students don't think about when they get to college. And then especially like if you're going into nursing, if you're going into business, accounting, those book costs can really add up. So we give them a book scholarship of up to $500 a semester, and find that most of our scholars are able to pay 100% of their books with that scholarship while they're at Westminster College. In addition, so that's one thing that we are raising funds for today, is to continue that promise to our students of all 4 years we will be with you in the form of community, also in the form of scholarship. Another thing that we mentioned is the bridge program is all costs paid by the college. So the student does not pay any costs during that week of summer bridge, including food. We take care of everything for them. They even get to move on campus a week early so that they really get to know campus. And so that also is where the funds are going, is to fund that bridge program that really we think is integral to establishing that sense of belonging on campus early. One of my favorite stories to tell is that we give our cell phone numbers out at Legacy Summer Bridge, and we say, okay, in emergencies, you need to contact us, we're here. And I had one of my Legacies call me a couple days after Bridge had ended. And she said, hey, I'm with someone who's not in Legacy. They can't really find the tutoring center, and I knew to call you, And so our Legacies know more about the resources, where they are or who to talk to, than other students coming in, which I think is really an incredible feeling for a first-gen student, to know campus, to know resources on campus, and be able to navigate that more even than their peers when everyone else starts to show up on campus. And then in addition, we have the events that Julian was talking about. We run events throughout the year for our Legacies. Everything from, we do a study retreat up in Provo Canyon with them in March. So right around midterms, we're like, hey, we know you have a lot of work to do. Let's go up Provo Canyon. We rent out the Girl Scout Lodge, the whole lodge, and we all do homework together and study together. And for me and Julian, we catch up on emails together with the students. And then around 9 p.m. at night, we peace out and they get to like throw dance parties together and just continue to build that community. So events also is what we're funding, including a graduation ceremony. When COVID finally ends and we'll be able to hold graduation ceremonies again, we really want to give back to these students who have given so much to the college over 2 to 4 years and really throw them the party that they deserve at the end of getting their degree. Am I missing anything, Julian, you want to add on to that?
No, I think you got it. And I think I really want to highlight like graduation. So, graduation, it's an event, right? We want this event to be really special for them. We want to, throw a dinner for them. I mean, we put them through 4 years of legacy. Other first-gen programs just don't do that. Most first-gen programs help students transition into their first year, and that's about it. We stay with them. It is a commitment, right? I've only given you sort of a surface level understanding of everything that these legacy students are required to do. They do get the book stipend. That's an incentive, but they're still required to do work, because we're trying to help them foster academic excellence. So by the time graduation comes, we want to do something good for them. We want to throw them a dinner. We want to have appetizers. We want to invite their families, their loved ones. We want to have speakers. We want to have them speak. But all of that, it takes funds. What's going to be really special about the legacy graduation, once we do have it, is that instead of walking across the stage on their own, they are going to be walking across the stage with their support network, whoever that might be, whether that be their parents, their children, their loved ones, their partner. I think that's what we mean by the name legacy, right? Is that they are leaving a legacy. They are the first in their family to go to college, and they are actually leaving a legacy. And when one first-generation student succeeds, often a lot of other first-generation people succeed as well, including their parents. We've had students who've said, "My parents are not going to go to college." We've had students who say, like, "Oh my gosh, my little brother's going to college." People in my community are now going to go to college because they are leaving that legacy. And so, all of these events, we really put a lot of thought into them, and they do take funds. They do take funds, but they are meaningful. So.
And what a cool draw to come to Westminster. Like, I didn't know that a lot of other legacy programs are only for 1 year. And I mean, how cool that they know that they have a support system for the whole time that they're in college. I think that's really amazing. When you were talking about academic excellence earlier, Julian, I think you've touched on this a couple times, but I was thinking that I've seen in a few recent campus updates some really big scholarship news from some of your legacy students. So maybe you guys want to share an update about that.
Yes, I would love to. So I want to acknowledge first that Westminster College as a school has been recognized by the Gilman Scholarship as being a school where a lot of students come out who get the Gilman Scholarship. Julian, you can talk a little bit more about this. This is way more up your alley, but as I understand it, students who get the Gilman have the ability to study abroad and do research, and that's entirely funded. Which, if you've been on a study abroad, you know how huge that is, that you get funded. And a lot of those Gilman finalists come out of the legacy program because we have a class in their junior year that focuses entirely on having them apply to internships, fellowships, and scholarships like the Gilman. And so because we have an entire class that just focuses on what do you want to apply for, what do you want to get, let's support you through that, we end up having a lot of big announcements and news come out of that class. And also just in general, I think our legacies are incredible. So like even outside of that class, they're doing amazing things, which is one of our legacies is a Truman finalist. This is huge. I saw that there was a record amount of Truman applications this year. And so the fact that Westminster has a Truman finalist who's a legacy this year and had a Truman finalist last year who was a legacy is really quite incredible. So Dawood, if you're watching this, you're amazing. We are so proud to have you in our legacy program. He's been announced as a Truman finalist. And then also a couple other big announcements. Asma Dahir, who was a Truman finalist last year, just learned that she got into Stanford for graduate school, which is pretty incredible. And then I know that we had some Gilmans. Julian, do you want to name drop any of those?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. And, like part of what Kari is saying too is like just the knowledge that we are attempting to give these students about these fellowships and developmental opportunities in the beginning. I forgot to touch on this in the beginning, but part of like one challenge that can come about from being a first generation student is just your knowledge base, right? When you've had parents who've gone to college, you have that sort of that cultural capital in understanding what you have to do, to be successful in higher ed. When you haven't had parents who have gone to college, oftentimes that knowledge, that cultural capital is somewhat lacking, right? Just because you don't know. I know, like as like a first generation college student, when I was going to college, nobody told me about internships or fellowships or any of that jazz, right? Like I didn't know any of that, right? So like when I got to graduate school, I remember people saying, "Oh yeah, I got this fellowship and I was part of this opportunity. I did this," and I was like, I didn't even know that existed. Right, so that's why, like, as in the legacy program, we thought it'd be really important to sort of have a class that sort of educates students on these different opportunities. Because if you don't know, you don't know. But because our students know, and because they're so amazing, and because they have such great GPAs, and because they're so involved, and because they're so in touch with the community, they're often prime candidates for all of these opportunities, like Truman, like Gilman. So like with the Gilman Scholarship, as Kari mentioned, it really it funds them to study abroad. We've had Jose Ortiz. I think we've had about 5 Gilman scholars from Legacy now. Jose Ortiz, Anissa Dahir, Samuel Guerrero, Sam Dominguez, Daoud. I think Daoud was also Gilman, right? I feel like I'm missing. Oh, Lasana Trali. All have been Gilman. In addition to that, yes, 2 Truman finalists. We've had a number of students earn some pretty prestigious research fellowships and internships. A lot of times students engage in research here at Westminster, but to actually go to another institution and be paid up to like $5,000 for the summer to actually engage in opportunities that are going to make them prime candidates for PhD programs and master's programs. It's really rewarding as a director to see that, and I'm really rewarding for our students to actually see like, wait, I can do this. These opportunities are available to me. Once they know and they apply, they're shoo-ins.
Yeah, and we've also had our legacies are really active in the community as well. So I know Anissa, who got the Gilman, is very active in activism in the Salt Lake community. We've had several juniors, Obaid and Mo, who have spoken at the Capitol. Like they're really invested, not only at Westminster, and they're doing amazing things with their schooling, but they are invested in the place that they live and making it a better place to live. It's really inspiring what they're doing.
Well, that's so exciting. I mean, it's great to see this love of learning and this love of Westminster cultivated in this program. I mean, I think, again, I've seen a lot of the legacy scholars at that very early stage, and, some of them are a little bit like deer in the headlights, but there's also a lot of excitement. I mean, I just remember like sitting at that dinner and talking to them, and you can just feel that they're excited to be there, and they're really, ready, even if it is kind of scary and unknown. I think that the fact that, you all are taking that scary unknown piece out of it, right? And that's kind of so that they can be successful. And I think that's a huge piece of why it's such a great program, is because, going off to college is scary regardless of whether you're prepared for it or not. And I feel like, I was very prepared, given the fact that both my parents had been to college, but it was still, you're still on your own for the first time in a lot of cases. I mean, it's like, wow, who's going to do my laundry? And, oh, I have to do my laundry. Okay. It's just all those little things. And I think it's just so great that this program is there for these students. Do we want to do a quick update of where we are as far as our donations for legacy goes, because I think we need to get that giving number up, because this is important and we want donations and we love everybody who's made a contribution so far. Go to giving.westminstercollege.edu and make a gift. Every amount helps, because we got to get to 1,000 so we can unlock that big last challenge. So where are we right now? What's our...
Right now, with the Legacy program, we have just over $5,000 and 68 donors as of the beginning of this segment. And then I bet Cheyenne will pop on in a second what we're looking at for our overall numbers so far. So keep those donations coming in. Our goal for Legacy is 70, so we need 2 more, but we don't need to stop then. We need to keep going. We need as many supporters as we can get.
And
absolutely.
Just to give context to those numbers, 1,000, that's amazing. That is book scholarships for 5 students for 1 year, which is pretty incredible when you think about it. But okay, in terms of numbers, that's 5 students who are getting full book scholarships for a year.
But that's
incredible. Books are hard to buy when you're a student. I mean, I still remember that, and I had, parental support and everything, but college textbooks are expensive, and how cool to know that your donation is going to relieve that financial burden for a student and just take that worry off their plate so they can focus on more scholarship applications to these really cool things like the Gilman. I think that is a great thing to donate to.
No, it's so exciting, and we have just a couple of minutes left. So are there any other, takeaways that people really need to know about Legacy, and just, or any final thoughts that you have about, what it means, or, a final pitch or a thank you to people? Because I think, there's so many, great supporters out there that have given today to Legacy and to all of our other initiatives, and we want to thank them. But, final thoughts from Julian and Kari.
Yeah, I'm sure Kari's is going to be way more meaningful. I'm just going to say something more practical. So yes, thank you to everybody who's donated. Every dollar helps, and like Kari said, that's what we have so far. That is 5 students book stipends for an entire year. The only thing is that by next year we'll have way over 100 students. so keep donating, keep giving, because we have a lot more students to take care of that we need to take care of yet. So I'm sure Kari's will be more reasonable.
No, that is so true. Yeah, I was thinking that of and we're accepting 35 this next year, So add 35 more students into the program. I'm just going to say, I think a cool challenge that some of our ambassadors for the program have been putting out there is, if you have a first-gen hero in your life, make a small donation in their name. Because we all got here because we had a community behind us, and what our students are doing are building a first-gen community on campus. So if you know someone who's first-gen, who's been a driving force in your life, make a donation in their name. If you are first-gen, please share your first-gen story. You can comment on any of our Instagram stuff or our Facebook stuff. We want to hear it. We want to raise awareness for first-gen stories on campus, and also just more broadly. So those are my 2 takeaways.
Oh, Hannah, you're muted. We're all. It's happened to everyone today. It's just how it goes.
It's bound to happen. I was just saying, it's really easy when you go to giving.westminstercollege.edu. When you get to the second page of the giving form, it's really easy to put "in honor of" or "my first gen hero is." You can totally customize that, and then right away you'll see that donation pop up at the bottom of the screen in honor of whoever you're shouting out to there.
And there's a running list. There's a running list on every project, so you can see who's given, and it has been great. There have been some in honor of today, so I think that's a great idea to do that, because there's so many people that helped all of us along the way, and it's nice to give that back and let people know that they made a difference in your experience at Westminster. So we love Legacy. We love Westminster. Any final thank yous or thoughts?
Yeah, Thank you to everyone. Yeah.
Thank you for having us on. We're really excited to be a part of this day.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it was so fun to talk to you guys and learn a little bit more about legacy, and we'll stay in touch.
All right. Sounds good.
Thank you.
Bye.
Now you're stuck with just me and Hannah.
Just us. I mean, I felt like I knew quite a bit about the legacy program before, but I learned new things, and like how cool, how many Gilman scholars they have. There's a lot going on in legacy, and I mean, they're growing really fast. So get out there, make your donation to the legacy program, support their growth. They've got a lot of good stuff going on, and clearly it impacts not just our students, but our entire community.
No, it's amazing. I mean, the way that program is just, I mean, it's completely, started so small. And shout out to Dan Cairo, who's no longer at Westminster, but, started that program with Julian. It is a great program. And like I said, I've had great interactions with legacy students in the time that I've worked at Westminster. And that program is just blowing up. It's huge. So yes, they need donations for all the students that they want to add. So make a contribution to Legacy Scholars, please. We have some other stuff lined up. Do we want to do a quick check on our overall numbers? Because I feel like we're just doing so well today, and everybody's just been so generous. We
are. It's incredible. Cheyenne just told us that we have 874 donations and $150,000. This is just like blowing me away. Last year we hit, I think, about 96,000 total for One Westminster Day. And so I am just, like I said, blown away by everyone's generosity. And I think just having this live stream today and an opportunity to talk to our campus partners, I think, not just in the legacy program, but I think in the family nurse practitioner program, in this new MED focus, we've seen that a lot of our programs are growing. Like, we're not raising money for, the same old things every year. We're innovating. Our staff and faculty from across campus is, putting their new ideas out there and building really exciting things. And I think maybe that's why we're getting so many donations this year, is because it's really exciting to support this new work.
Oh yeah. And and that's the thing, like Westminster's always been a great community. I mean, I think it's one of the reasons why I wanted to work at Westminster. I mean, I did my master's at Westminster and then immediately was like, I got to find a way to work there. And it took me, 10 years to get back there. But now that I work here, I mean, it's a special place. And I feel like today feels like Westminster for the first time in a long time, just because we haven't been able to be on campus and do the things we ordinarily do. And today's been so great to see people, even if it's virtually, to interact with people like Julian and Kari and Shay and see, what weird things Richard Bodenhausen's willing to do for honors, because he always just goes to the mat for honors. I caught like.
Is dyeing his hair this year, or is he shaving?
No, he's shaving it. But the thing that I wanted to see, which was amazing, was his like influencer morning routine thing.
Oh, I caught a little bit of that. It was so funny.
Oh my gosh.
Pro tip on YouTube, on the live stream, you can reverse while this live stream is live and catch those funny segments that you missed, because it was pretty fantastic.
Yeah. And see, Maggie's absolutely. Yeah. And Maggie's going to be up later, so she's going to get to say all of the things that she loves about Westminster, which is probably a list of 900 things. But no, I think, watching Richard talk about how he uses his speed stick and why, I mean, it was great. It was quintessential Westminster. And that to me, today is the first day. And maybe it's because it's almost been a year or two since we were on campus regularly, but I was really feeling the spirit today. It's really been nice. So I appreciate everybody who's made me feel the Westminster spirit. Oh, it sounds like Cheyenne's updating us. Honors is 25 donations away from Richard's TikTok dance being shared. So get on it, Honors alums and Honors supporters. You want to see Richard TikTok dance. And just know that it sounds like they will play some of Richard's stuff at the end of the day again. So if you missed it and you don't want to scroll back through, even though you can, like Hannah said, it will be played again. So we've got all kinds of stuff coming up too. There's more, we're not we're not going away. And Hannah and I are going away, but there'll be other people coming in later. But there's still a lot of the day left. I totally think we're going to get to 1,000.
I think so too. I'm really excited to see what comes up in these next segments. And, right after this, I have not made my gift yet because I have been so busy answering emails this morning. But as soon as I get off the live stream, I'm getting out there and completing my donation form. Have you completed your gift yet, Conor?
I've made 2 gifts, and I might make more. I don't know. I'm sizing it up. I think it's going to be hard for me to look Julian and Kari in the eye after being on with them and not give your legacy. So I probably will give thanks. But I threw my support behind athletics because that's my area of my job. But I also think our athletic programs are great and deserve support. But I also supported the education initiative as well, just because as an education alum, I want to support what they're doing over there. So that's where I gave my support today. But like I said, the day is still young. I mean, we still have quite a ways to go. So you never know. I may have to get my credit card back out another time or two before the day is over. So.
Totally. My role in today, for those of you that I don't know very well, was working with all of our campus partners to pull these projects together and kind of give them the details of what they needed to do to participate. And so I have to spread my donations across all of them because I've been kind of talking to them for months, and it's really just, like you said, the spirit of Westminster is alive today. I think hearing all of our campus partners talking, like I've been talking to them about these projects for months now, and I'm just like blown away by the creativity and the passion that everyone has for their work at Westminster. And I'm doing my MSc program right now, and some of my shout out to my classmates who I talked into participating today. They've been sharing on social media and just talking about, what a wonderful experience we've had with our faculty members who are always there to answer questions, to offer support, to talk through ideas with us. That's what Westminster is, not just in the legacy program, which is fantastic and provides so much support, but that's what's really cool about Westminster is just our small community and staff and faculty who care about students and each other and their work, and just really go above and beyond to make Westminster an awesome place to work and learn.
Totally. And shout out, that last comment that Cheyenne flashed there was from Ryan Olson, who I went to high school with. And so I'm double alums with Ryan because we both went to Roland Hall and we both went to Westminster. So shout out to Ryan Olson, a basketball alum too. Great 3-point shooter. Like legit. That kid, I used to have a front row seat for him in high school, just dropping bombs from long range. Like it was great. But no, you're absolutely right. And shout out to all the alums. I mean, if you go through Facebook today, you can see everybody's memories. Everybody's posting great stuff. Stacy Whitford shared like 900 pictures of her time at Westminster, and those pictures are amazing. And the hair, and it's like late 80s, early 90s. Some of the
We've got to have another in-person event so that I can see Stacy Whitford again.
Oh man, that woman, the only person who maybe bleeds Westminster more than Maggie Regier is Stacy Whitford. The two of them, that's why they're so close. But oh my gosh, yeah, some of those pictures of, and I love to see that. I love that kind of history of the school. I mean, that's what I loved about working in alumni relations, and I still get to do it with athletics too. It's just like talking to old Westminster people, and I don't mean old in age-wise, but just alums, people who've been around the college a long time. It's great to hear the stories and why they love Westminster, and Facebook is just blowing up with all kinds of great stuff today, and Instagram too. So check it out.
We have some really engaged alumni, and I love to see throwback photos on this live stream page. In fact, you can see Richard's prom photo from last year. That was one of his challenges. So that's a pretty fun throwback photo.
He was dapper.
Yeah, he was.
He was dapper.
Yeah, good stuff.
No, and I have my Westminster mug. Wait, there we go. Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's a good one.
It's just water.
I took all of my drinkware home, so.
No, it's just water. It looks like it could be wine. It's just water. Might be wine later. Probably will be. But no, I'm very excited about the way we've gone today. And I think we have something. Cheyenne has. Cheyenne says I can switch to wine when we hit 1,000. Yeah, maybe I will. That'll be my celebration. Big old wine party at 1,000 gifts. But we do have another video from our student Teresa out in the field that we can cut to for a little break and see what Teresa was up to. Cheyenne's got that ready to go. So let's see what Teresa was doing out in the field.
Hi, we're back with another student interview.
Yeah, I'm Liliana. I'm currently a freshman and I'm a neuroscience major.
So what would you like to say to those who have invested in your education?
I would like to thank them for their generosity and allowing the Westminster experience to continue. It's amazing that so many students can come together and really find their home and their place at Westminster. So I just think that's amazing that the continued support allows for that to happen.
Share what you love about Westminster College.
Personally, I think I love the strong sense of community the most. I go into my classes and I know that my professors and my advisors are genuinely there for me and they're concerned about my well-being as well as my educational success. And I think that's an amazing thing to have for an education.
So what are you passionate about?
I'm really passionate about kind of the medical field, and especially at Westminster, I'm passionate about the pre-PA and pre-med program. I've been able to find and join the neuroscience club, which just allows me to learn more about my major, as well as meet people who are also interested in the same path. And I think it's just such an amazing and diverse field that I can hopefully be a part of one day.
Well, thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Well, that was fun.
I love the interviews. It's great to have Teresa out in the field talking to students safely from a distance with her mask on.
Let's quickly let's shout out to Teresa, shout out to you, Hannah and Jess and the annual fun team for all the work today, because and shout out to the campus partners and shout out to the development team. Everybody's worked really hard, but you and Jess in our annual fun team have really done a lot of great work, and Cheyenne working really hard on the live stream today, and Maggie working hard on the Facebook stuff. And we had our colleagues from advancement working the table on the commons earlier today. Everybody's just pulled together. So well done, everyone. And thanks for all the hard work, because it's been really fun to see everybody working so hard and pulling together.
It doesn't even feel like hard work when we have, such awesome people across campus that we're supporting. It's just really fun to try to make their work shine and give them an opportunity to talk about the cool things that they're doing. So it really hasn't even felt like hard work, really. Just excited that today's coming together and that all of our donors and alumni are coming out and tuning into the live stream and supporting the causes they're passionate about. So I think we're getting the word that we're supposed to sign off, but it was fun hanging out with you virtually for a couple hours, Conor.
We're like the Ryan Seacrest and Kelly of Westminster.
Yeah. I don't know who those people are.
Well, oh, come on, Hannah.
I don't.
How about Regis and Kathy Lee? How about that? You know them?
No.
All right. Well, we will have an education session.
Conor exposes my lack of pop culture knowledge here in the final moments of our live stream segment.
Hey, well, we'll figure that out.
He'll get me caught up.
College, we can educate you on that. There's no problem there. Well, thank you to everybody who's supported so far. And coming up after us, we'll have a couple of other great hosts, and they'll be talking to some more of our great campus partners. And
TAM.
Oh, that's right. Tasting with TAM is coming up.
Yeah, so stay online. They won't be as great as us, maybe, but Tasting with TAM will be awesome.
Watching TAM eat stuff she's never tried before is hilarious. If you haven't seen it before, it was great last year. I'm sure it'll be great again. But thank you all, and make a gift. We'll be kind of taking a little break until about 4:00, but between now and then, you can make several donations to several projects.
Yes, I will be doing that as soon as I hang up off this live stream. So follow me over there to giving.westminstercollege.edu.
Okay, we'll see y'all later. Go Griffins.